get the whole story.
Welcome back. You're watching Inside Politics. Remember, we're opening the phone lines in just but a few, and we'll be hearing from you back at home. But before we do so, we just want to highlight one issue that played out in the presidency, all to do with President William Ruto giving the public an address on Wednesday, and thereafter Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua giving the public an address, throwing NIS under the bus, saying the president was left exposed due to lack of intelligence reports and whatnot. And this furor by the Deputy President attracted criticism from members of the ruling party as well. Just listen in briefly.
The sector was caught off guard by the intensity, the anger of the Kenyan people, the agitation of the Kenyan people, the resilience of the Kenyan people. Had Nurdin Haji done his job, we will not be where we are today. He has no capacity. He is out of the country most of the time on business trips. The country is on its own. It had to take people to die, property to be destroyed, protests across the country, for the president to know the truth of what the people of Kenya feel. Yet, there is an organization paid for by the public to brief the president and the government about the feeling of the Kenyan people.
I was there when you were being selected, not elected, as deputy president. You were selected on the basis that the mountain had agreed to vote for William Ruto. You were selected because it was an appreciation that we needed a candidate from the Mount Kenya region. It could have been Kithure Kindiki. It could have been Kimani Ichung'wah. It could have been Ndindi Nyoro. It could have been Mama Alice. It could have been anybody. The outcome will be the same, will have been the same. We went there to vote for William Ruto, for you to assist him. We didn't elect you as a co-president. Learn the Constitution. You are the principal assistant to the president. You are not a co-president. If you start to undermine the presidency, we shall also stop to respect the office of the deputy president, not as an office, but as a person. It could have been Kindiki as deputy president. It's in public domain. Yeah. So therefore, we're asking you, and you are now casting aspersions on the decisions of the president to select Nurdin Haji or to appoint Nurdin Haji as Director General of the NIS. Yet, the same president took it in his wisdom to appoint you or to select you as Deputy President. And therefore, if you feel uncomfortable, if you feel there are votes you brought on board, as the rest of the speakers have said, exit the scene. Go and prepare yourself for a contest in 2027, and let us see which Kenya will elect a tribal bigot as president.
President, kama umenisikia vizuri, wakati ulileta mswada wa finance bill, mimi maswali ni kwa wanaume watatu. Deputy President Gachagua, Chief Prime Minister Mudavadi, and Speaker of the National Assembly Wetangula. Hawa wanaume watatu nimeona wakati kimeumana Nairobi. Gachagua, Deputy President, ametoroka Nairobi, amejificha Mombasa huko, hadi anatoa statement anasema, Your Excellency Mr. President, ungefanya namna hiyo. Gachagua.
So, just sentiments by various leaders reacting to what the Deputy President had to say in Mombasa, pointing a blaming finger, at the NIS in terms of exposing the president. But it definitely shows that perhaps they're reading from different scripts. And that's what I want to interrogate from the man from the ruling party. What's going on?
Before I come to that, allow me very briefly to touch on what Wakili was saying here about this being a Hasras government. I don't think as a party we have vacated that commitment. Things might not be working well for now, but we will remain the course, and God willing, we will make a difference to the hustlers.
Okay.
Also, my brother here, I've talked about the extrajudicial killings, which is a very, 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 bad thing. And this government has committed itself, led by the president himself. We will never go that route. So let's not just say words, because it will not be good.
No. It's not just saying words.
No, let me tell you.
What happened.
Rogers,
yes.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
And when there was this uprising in the USA and people wanted to invade the Capitol Hill, there were deaths, my brother. So, with me, my heart, and even in our earlier it's known, I'm so close to the young people. I'm even closer to the children. So, nobody would wish people to die. But truly, let's tell each other the truth. For example, those people who have been inciting our youth to go and occupy the State House,
okay.
Very bad, and I pray by the power of God it will not happen, because actually it is good to indicate. That is even why the army is coming. It is not coming to attack the civilians, and you saw it even people were celebrating the army in the streets. It is to guard key government installations, because like what happened in Parliament, that's how nations are destroyed. Also,
what's going on with the president?
I agree with him.
Time.
Yes, sir. About communication breakdown.
Yes.
And about my sister here. Those issues about budgetary corruption and what have you, the government will be very keen on this, and that's why the president has said there will be austerity measures. On this issue, you have asked me about the deputy president and what have you. I'm privileged to be friends with most of our leaders, from the president, the deputy president, we campaigned with a lot of our leaders together. But and I come from the same area with my deputy president, and he's my deputy party leader. We meet in the next meetings and what have you. But I would have preferred, and that's me, I would have preferred, because they're in the presidency, some of these things, I believe, would best be handled when my president and my deputy president sit together somewhere. If the deputy president is dissatisfied somewhere, it's more easier, it's more courteous, it's more good to sit with the president, whom he fondly refers as my boss, which is a very good thing.
All right.
They discuss, he lays the issues they have problems with the boss, so that we all move on together. And that way, I'm not blaming my deputy party leader, I'm just giving my opinion.
You're painting an ideal situation. It doesn't seem too realistic, but anyway, let's listen in to our callers. One of the callers is already on the line right now. That's Gianwa Home from Odhaya. And Gian, good afternoon. Briefly, in a minute or so, give us your take on the issues we've canvassed today.
Good afternoon, Jesse.
Afternoon, Gian.
We last spoke during the election, and you know what happened. Now, thank you so much, and I'm glad today I'm calling from Odhaya, and I'm glad my neighbor is there, Mr. Karagu. Now, very quickly, I think, Jesse, you are much aware that this movement, our movement, is unstoppable. First of all, I would like to Karagu to convey this, that we are tribeless, we are fearless, and we are partyless. One of the things this government is trying is to try and use divide and rule on us. First of all, the call for dialogue is welcome, but the next thing, we will indicate where to dialogue at. The leaders that the ruling coalition is taking State House, the days of summoning people to State House and some kind of things, we are not going to take that. The old playbook of using the church to pacify the restless masses will not work, Jesse. This is a government that came in with a lot of promises, with a lot of hope. We counted on it, on so many things, but unfortunately, they've let the republic down.
Okay, John.
Yeah, the outside. Please, Jesse, let me finish. Lastly, I want to talk about the youth that are masquerading as our leaders. These youth.
Okay, Jan, unfortunately, due to time, we had to do that thing, but your feedback is definitely valued. And we've had the message, and I'm sure the MCA from Nyeri County has equally had the message as well. Just to read one or two comments, Jerry says, I think moving forward, our elected leaders should talk less and more action. What the MCA is saying, we've had it all before, and we are tired. Joshua Murungi says a national discussion might be the way to go, but Gen Z should be cautious in terms of being called to the table. Gentlemen and lady, final comments, 30 seconds each. I'll start with you, Wakili, briefly.
Well, my comment is that I hope that as a government, the government is listening. It has seen what the people are capable of under Article 1 of the Constitution. They have expressed their and utilized their right, their fundamental, innate rights in the Constitution, and they are going to act appropriately. And for the young people and everyone who is a citizen of this country, this is our country. We have to be heard. The government needs to act on what the people are saying. Cut the costs, and the people will be happy.
Interesting. Willington, briefly, 30 seconds.
Well, thank you. One thing, as we summarize this, is that I want to highlight about the different generations. You know, the boomers in the ancient days, in the olden days, they were interested in working for the Europeans or as managers in their companies or Indian companies or something like that. Then we came to the Generation X. For them, they had interest, dreams to work in public service or maybe being teachers, doctors, lawyers, etc. Then we have to millennials. Most of them wanted to be self-employed.
Okay.
And then we came to Gen Zs. The Gen Zs, these are people who want to be independent. They are educated, have skills, are armed with information. Data is their weapon. It helps them make decisions. They are interested. They are not interested in being employed or being politicians. They are not interested in begging like the millennials, but prefer using their talents and skills to make a difference in their lives.
Okay.
So therefore, they expect the public service to work for them effectively.
Quite so.
Things are new, things are unprecedented, so we cannot act in an old fashion. We cannot use the old mechanisms toward this new movement. So utilize the online platforms already being used, utilize mechanisms that already exist in the Constitution, work with young MPs specifically, listen to the generation that has been ignored for too long. It's not a matter of just dialogue for the sake of dialogue.
Thank you very much, Rogers.
Briefly.
Yeah, very briefly. And what I want to say, and I just want to pick it from what Nalima is saying, that we listen to what the people are saying. The president has indicated he is listening, the government is listening. And I want to remind every one of us, especially the Generation Zs, they've made a very big win. Let them not be misled to scold at that.
Yes.
This country belongs to all of us. If, we should always come together, because God has put us here for a reason and for a season. Let's rally together, because once we listen to each other, we are able to bring down any differences that might be dividing us. We will understand one another. We will make a great country called Kenya.
Thank you.
God bless all of us.
Thank you. Kiruga Thuku, MCA Chinga Ward, asante sana for your time. Eliud Ngugi, Advocate of the High Court, thank you for your presence right here. Nerima Wako, your input was appreciated. Executive Director, Siasa Place, and equally, we were joined by Emuru Moses Willington. Asante sana for your time. He is a political analyst and data scientist. That's how we wrap up today's edition of Inside Politics. So we have spoken. Let's see what action will be taken. My name is Jesse Rogers. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.